Happy Friday morning, October 12th, traditional Columbus Day, which, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, was perhaps the most significant event in human history, where two halves of humanity got reunited. I'm changing from just a patron update, to a little writer's corner that's will be more expansive in what's covered, calling it My Second Universe after the first website. Got my son in the background who has a day off from school and is shooting me in the back. And he's going to be climbing Mount Hood today, apparently. And that was nice. And we've got the sidewalk being worked on outside, so all kinds of noises going on.
Leave a like on this video, because this is my dad.
Yeah, appreciate that, son. Thank you. So I've completed and sent out to patrons Chapter 15th of Valkyrie of Desire, and I'll speak a little bit more about that. I'm also ready for the next game session coming up this weekend, which will be fun, going deeper into the Fungaloid Kingdom, more clues about the corrupted mother and the fibrous ground that will consume them should they sleep on it. I've also started working on a new series of flash fiction based off of the sessions that had what's been called the Jabberwaki, drawing on the poem as well as the Forbidden Planet movie from the 1950s. And some more thought on the article that I talked about last week about dieting and health and cancer. So going deeper in on Valkyrie of Desire, I've really settled into the Act 2's setting, city, FA city, and I introduced the giant female orcs, which are always pregnant, and had a circus wrestling match with a bunch of guys dressed up as sheep to see. There was gambling about whether or not she would give birth to these little orcs that would eat the men that she's tied up and bound. And the main character, in contrast, is a great person. It's kind of continuing this theme of the main character not being that great, but relative to what's going on around her, and she might say something that's not that nice, but then, kind of redeem herself, kind of playing around with that. So I'm having fun with that. And oh yeah, also I wanted to, with the switch from just a patron update, do like a little story time. And in honor of it being October and Halloween, and my son shooting me, I did an improv horror story to my son the other night, which I just kind of introduced this kid that was wealthy. His family were into taxidermy. They hunted all kinds of animals, but particularly bears. And this uncle that was the best taxidermist, he had been a surgeon, a retired surgeon. He had this idea in his head of making a real teddy bear, and he was a little odd, a little twisted. He had even been institutionalized. This was why he'd retired as a surgeon young, and the bear that he prepared was a cub. They had illegally killed a mother and cub, and it had been in a fairly I think it might have been near a reservation, Indian reservation, or actually on an Indian reservation. So there's some definite darkness, but they had done this kind of on the sly, and So the boys, it was a brother and a younger brother. Ruki, I think, was the younger brother's name. The uncle had prepared an actual stuffed teddy bear and put it in his room, and the boy just couldn't sleep. He was having nightmares, and he was scratching on the walls. And then one night, the next day, the older brother, he couldn't find his younger brother Ruki, and there was just this teddy bear in the corner. They looked, they called the police, and then eventually the brother was moving his stuff around, and the teddy bear was a lot heavier than it should have been. And we'll just call it for today. Have a great week, and I'll
Be
get out.
more sarcastic.
Okay, and I'll get out chapter 16. It's being edited on Screwfile right now, and I'll try to get a flash fiction out this week as well. The article, it's pretty sensitive stuff that's going on, so I might put that off a bit as and yeah, a little flossing. Have a good one.